Toyota just dropped a bombshell that could derail the entire EV revolution. While everyone's been betting on electric cars, Toyota's 2025 hybrid move has shaken the industry so hard that even Tesla and BYD are watching nervously. And here's the twist, it's not hype. The proof is already in the numbers. Record-breaking MPG, surging sales, and an engine so efficient it attacks the one weakness EVs still can't fix. This isn't the future we thought we were getting. It's a chess game, and Toyota just pulled off a move no one saw coming. But what exactly did they build? Why does it matter? And could it really change the cars we'll all be driving in the next decade? That's the story. Let's dive in. It starts in the past. A decade ago, hybrids were seen as a compromise. Prius showed that combining gasoline engine plus electric motor could achieve efficiency beyond what most gas cars did. But people still had doubts. Jerky transitions, maintenance, battery life, cost. Meanwhile, EVs promised the purest vision of the future. No fossil fuel, zero tailpipe emissions, cutting-edge electrification. Toyota played both sides, but always hedged heavily. Prius was the poster child. Hybrid synergy drive got better with each generation. Toyota built up thousands of patents. They quietly improved battery management, coupling, power split, thermal efficiency. They weren't rushing to abandon ICE, they were refining it. Fast forward to 2024 to 2025. That hedge is paying off. Sales show hybrids aren't just surviving, they're surging. Look at the US in 2024. Toyota sold about 2.33 million vehicles overall, up approximately 3.7% versus 2023. But hybrids were the real story. Electrified vehicles, which includes hybrids, passed 1 million units sold. That was a 53% jump over 2023. Hybrids accounted for roughly 44.5% of Toyota's sales that year. Meanwhile, EVs are hitting walls. Charging infrastructure strain, cost premiums, long charging times, especially for regular folks who can't wire up 240 volts at home or who need reliable use on highways. That friction is growing louder than the whispers of zero emissions. But here's where the turning point, the real hold on to your seat moment, arrives. In mid-2025, Toyota laid out a roadmap that makes clear they believe hybrids might be more than bridge technology. They commit to making 50% of US sales electrified this year, including BEVs, PHEVs, and hybrids. That's not just EV exclusivity. They are doubling down on hybrids and electrified ICE. And the 2025 models? Camry hybrid, Corolla hybrid, Prius, Highlander hybrid. These are not lagging tech placeholders. They're improved under the hood. Better MPG, better smoothness, better real-world reliability. Take the 2025 Prius. Combined EPA rating tops 57 miles per gallon for certain trims. That's not a small gain. That's a whisper that hybrids are catching EVs at one of their supposed strengths. Efficiency, and Camry Hybrid is rated at 51 miles per gallon combined in its efficient trim. The Highlander Hybrid, for a big SUV, it's pulling around 35 miles per gallon combined in many trims, significantly better than its gas-only siblings. But MPG is only half the story. Cost and reliability are just as heavy in what people really live with. Here's the conflict. EVs cost more upfront, the charging network remains patchy, and battery degradation over years is a concern. Hybrids still burn gas, but they need less of it. They use smaller batteries. Maintenance? More familiar. For many customers, that's lower risk. For example, Consumer Reports anticipates the 2025 Camry Hybrid to have about average reliability compared to all new cars. The Corolla Hybrid gets a predicted reliability score of 79 out of 100. That's solid. Now compare that to early generation EV issues, battery failure, range loss, charging network problems. In terms of cost of ownership, bigger fuel savings for hybrids already. If you drive mostly in city traffic, stop and go, evading idling, a hybrid's electric assist plus regenerative braking can cut gas usage dramatically. If your trip is highway heavy, the gasoline engine kicks in. But with improved engine design, Atkinson cycle, optimized thermal efficiency, you still get decent fuel economy. So now, what has Toyota actually changed under the hood to make this new hybrid wave more dangerous to EVs? First, new ICE engineering. The dynamic force family of engines, a 25 etc., have reached approximately 41% thermal efficiency in the hybrid version, a 25 AFXS etc. Thermal efficiency is how much of the energy in gasoline is turned into useful work versus being wasted as heat. 41% is high for ICE. Combined with electric motors, regenerative braking, smart transitions, that adds up. Second, packaging, smoother transitions. Toyota's hybrid system has refined the power split, motor torque availability at low RPMs, better battery cooling, more intelligent battery management. Even jerk when switching modes has been reduced. The Prius now behaves more like EV in city streets, silent, quick torque. And yet when you push it at highway speeds, the gas engine joins seamlessly. That balance is not easy. Third, warranties and durability. Toyota's hybrids inherit decades of tested components. Camry hybrids drive units, battery packs, cooling systems have seen years of use in Prius, RAV4, etc. Customers report the hybrid systems in Camry have same system as late model Prius/Crown with incremental improvements, so the risk feels lower, and that psychology matters more than we often assume. Fourth, pricing and incentives. Hybrids are cheaper than full EVs in many trims. While EVs often carry premium for battery pack mass, charging hardware, etc., hybrids strike a middle ground. Plus, many governments still give tax credits or fuel economy bonuses that favor hybrids, or at least don't penalize them harshly, especially for mild or full hybrids. Toyota's electrified sales push means more scale, which helps bring costs down. Also, Toyota manufacturing is adapting. For example, consolidating luxury brand Lexus production to lean into hybrid production. You might be thinking, but what about range? What about charging time? Aren't EVs still far ahead when empty battery is filled quickly or when emissions zero matter? Here's where the suspense builds. The weakness of EVs is being forced into daylight. A few key trends. Charging infrastructure is growing but often unreliable. In many regions, fast chargers are busy, broken, or expensive. Charge times, even at superchargers, take 20 to 40 minutes for decent state of charge. If you're on a long highway trip in a cold region, you feel it. Battery degradation remains a concern. Over time, EVs lose range. Replacing full battery packs is costly. Meanwhile, hybrids use much smaller battery packs, used more gently with lower stress. Their replacement cost is less of a financial shock. Electric grid strain and power costs. The cost of electricity varies wildly. In some places, charging costs approach or exceed gasoline cost equivalents, especially when you factor in demand charges or charging at non-optimal times. Hybrids dilute that dependency, so the hybrid's promise is get much of the daily efficiency and environmental gain of EVs while keeping the safety net of gasoline power when you need it. And for many buyers, that trade-off is suddenly much more compelling. Now here's where Toyota's strategy looks not just safe, but potentially game-changing. In 2025, Toyota has leaned hard into hybrids in its product mix. Camry went hybrid first, hybrid only in more trims. Corolla hybrid models are consistently among the top fuel-efficient non-EV sedans. Prius still delivers approximately 57 miles per gallon. Highlander hybrid offering that 35 miles per gallon in a large SUV shrinks the gap for consumers who need space. Toyota's claim, half of US sales this year will be electrified, hybrid, plug-in, or battery. That means the company is hedging big. EVs will grow, sure, but hybrids will keep getting better, more efficient, smoother, more appealing. Meanwhile, the competition is facing friction. Tesla is losing US EV market share. In August 2025, Tesla's EV share fell to 38%. its lowest since 2017. That means nearly 2/3 of buyers in the EV category are now choosing non-Tesla brands more often or are being drawn to alternatives. EV subsidies in the US and Europe are under political pressure. Battery raw material costs, charger costs, grid upgrades are expensive. Maintenance battery replacement worries weigh on consumers. So Toyota is exploiting this critical gap, the gap between promise versus practical day in, day out realities. Buyers are waking to the thought, maybe EVs are amazing, but is it time to wait? Toyota is offering an alternative that addresses many of the EV problems without giving up too much. Here are some concrete comparisons to puncture the hype. Picture a driver doing 12,000 miles per year, half city, half highway. Suppose gasoline costs $3.50 per gallon. Suppose electricity, at home, is 13 cents per kilowatt hour, public fast charges more. If you pick a mid-trim Camry hybrid, say 51 miles per gallon combined, versus a comparable EV with 250-mile range, paying for home charging plus occasional DC fast charging, your savings on fuel might shrink. But upfront premium, charger access, cost of ownership over years, battery degradation start to loom large. Add reliability, service costs, resale value. Hybrids tend to have more stable resale in many markets. If EV repair cost battery, cooling, software surprises happen, that can swing decisions. Also, performance. Hybrids are no longer sluggish. Instant torque from the electric motor at low speeds gives zip off the line. Highways, the gas engine kicks in, more power, sustained speeds. The transition is smoother in newer designs. Improved control logic in Toyota's power split. More intelligent region braking captures braking energy, which EVs also do, but hybrids can do it without needing huge battery packs, better motors, etc. You feel powerful, yet economical. And reliability, battery warranties for many hybrids run long, 10 years in many US states for hybrid battery packs, especially with Toyota. Their hybrid systems have been tested for many years in Prius, RAV4, Camry, etc. That gives buyer confidence. You thought that was big? Try this. The policy environment might reward Toyota's hybrid push more than we expect. Because governments want emissions down, they also want realistic paths. Some EU laws after 2035 require zero tailpipe CO2 for new cars, but some carve-outs, e-fuel allowances, hybrid incentives are being discussed. In places where infrastructure is lacking, governments might continue offering incentives or favorable tax treatment to high-efficiency hybrids. In India, hybrids are still taxed lower than EVs in many cases. Buyers there look more at fuel cost, service cost, ability to find parts, etc. In the US, clean vehicle tax credits tend to favor EVs, but electrified ICEs, hybrids and EVs often get something. Toyota is structured to benefit from that flexibility. Also, manufacturing strategy. They're consolidating and optimizing hybrid production in the US for Lexus. Getting plants ready for electrified ICE, maybe even e-fuel compatibility. That means cost per unit can drop. Scale matters. Toyota already sold over 1 million electrified vehicles in 2024, which gives volume, supply chain leverage. But wait, this next part changes everything the possible edge EVs still have and how Toyota may or may not overcome them, because it's not assured. For the hybrid gambit to truly challenge the EV revolution, Toyota needs to solve, or at least address, zero emission periods. Customers and regulators who want truly zero tailpipe emissions, especially in urban zones, may demand full BEVs or fuel cell vehicles. Hybrids still burn fossil fuel. Battery tech leapfrogs, solid-state batteries, ultra-fast charging, lighter packs. If EV makers pull ahead, the scales tip back. If you can fast charge to 80% in 10 minutes with a lightweight pack that erases a lot of hybrid advantages, fuel cost volatility and emissions regulations. If gasoline gets much more expensive or carbon taxes hit ICE much harder, that reduces the cost benefit of hybrids. Also, if emissions regs tighten so much that hybrids are taxed steeply, that could shift buyer cost equation, consumer perception, and resale value. EVs have the future branding. For many buyers, that prestige matters. If EVs become cheaper, more ubiquitous, resale value improves, then hybrids may be viewed as interim or compromise. So the question becomes, can Toyota keep hybrids advancing fast enough, cost low enough, performance high enough, emissions low enough, and do that while EVs are catching up? Because if Toyota produces hybrids that rival EVs in efficiency and price while keeping the flexibility of ICE backup, that is the weapon. But if EVs leap ahead in battery tech and infrastructure, the hybrid road may narrow. Let me pull you into a concrete scenario. Imagine two buyers in 2030, both want a sedan. Buyer A goes EV, pays more upfront, gets maybe 300-mile range, needs to rely on charging infrastructure, but minimal running cost, zero local emissions. Buyer B goes with a top-tier hybrid from Toyota, or comparable, gets maybe 55 to 60 miles per gallon, some electric-only operation in city, can fill up gasoline easily anywhere, lower upfront cost, maybe smaller battery, so less weight, less replacement risk. Now, suppose buyer A's EV battery degrades over time, public fast chargers are still expensive or unreliable, electricity cost rises, and the grid has constraints. For buyer B, gasoline cost rises too, but maybe less so because of engine efficiency improvements and better regenerative systems. Maintenance for EV might require expensive parts. For hybrid, more conventional parts. Over 150,000 miles, the cost difference might shrink dramatically. In many use cases, hybrid may end up more practical. Now, what if you combine that with policy shifts? Carbon taxes, fossil fuel import costs, electricity supply issues, charging infrastructure delays. Suddenly, hybrid looks like not just a fallback, but maybe the best choice for many people for many years. Toward the end, this becomes less about hybrids versus EVs in abstract and more about which technology wins specific use cases, geographies, buyer profiles. In dense cities with strong infrastructure, EVs probably win. In suburban, rural use cases with lots of highway distance, or places with underdeveloped charging networks, hybrids offer a compelling alternative. For cost-sensitive buyers, for people who frequently travel long distances or don't want to worry about range anxiety, hybrids may be the safer bet for a while. Here's the cliffhanger. Toyota's new hybrid path may not kill the EV revolution, but it might dramatically delay or reshape it. The EV boom may still happen, but over a longer horizon and in a more uneven way. Toyota might force EV makers to compete not just on battery spec, but on cost, usability, reliability, and real-world performance. Not just labs. And that means the future might not be all EV, all fast charging, all premium price, but more mixed, more hybridized, more layered. The final battle may be won by whoever masters not just the chemistry of batteries, but the orchestration of the full system: engine, motor, battery, charging, grid, policy, customer psychology. So here's what you need to watch. New Toyota hybrid engines coming out in 2026 to 2027. What is their MPG real world? Are they closing toward EV efficiency? Solid-state battery developments? When, if they deliver? Short charging times with durable, lighter packs could flip hybrid advantage. EV charging infrastructure reliability and cost trends. How many fast chargers work? How quickly can people access them? Fuel costs, emission tax policy, carbon pricing. If governments push gasoline cost up, hybrids become more expensive to run. Consumer trust and resale value. If hybrid resale stays strong, that's an edge. So, wrapping up, Toyota has built something more than a stopgap. Their hybrids are no longer shy compromises. The engineering is sharper. The MPG numbers are bleeding into EV territory in daily use. The sales are moving. The policies are murky but often favorable. And the competition is being forced to fight on multiple fronts, not just who can make the longest EV range. What if Toyota has built not just a hybrid engine, but a time machine? A way to stretch the transition, to win in the messy years where infrastructure, cost, policy, and consumer fears collide. The EV revolution is still coming, but Toyota might just be rewriting the pace. And your next car might look hybrid, feel efficient like an EV sometimes, but offer the backup certainty that many people want. Only time will tell who wins this chess game. But for now, every move Toyota makes is one to watch, because the future they're building might be the one many of us actually live in.